Hi everyone, it's me, the anti-black Barbie, the all-watchful eye of anti-blackness. Before we get started, don't forget to subscribe and turn on my notifications so you don't miss any of my posts in the future. So, in today's episode, we'll be discussing a Haitian-Canadian man by the name of Chandra. He's been the topic of discussion on Twitter recently, and I felt like it would be a good conversation starter. So, recently he posted a photo of himself, and it's garnered quite a lot of attention from the black queer community. It sparked a discussion whether or not black gays should be supporting him despite him having a clear affinity for non-black people. Before we go too far, here are some of the tweets for some more clarity. I want to reiterate, I don't have access to his entire dating history, and the only thing that I can do is go based off of his digital footprint that he provides to us. That being said, I at least have one memory of me calling him out last year. Then it got a lot of pushback because basically he posted this photo of him with a white bottom on Instagram, and I pretty much was just saying, like, we have to be more strategic about who we support. So I'll make sure that I go ahead and put that tweet in there. Unfortunately, the person deleted the photo that I was quote tweeting, so it's only the post itself. So I don't actually have the photo. I will say though, as far as my recollection goes, that I've predominantly seen him with nothing but white bottoms. However, if anyone has information otherwise, please feel free to let me know. That being said, I feel like there's been this awakening happening within the black community recently. I can't say for sure if it's because of the political environment that we're in, but I'm finally starting to see some pushback on anti-black ideology and distancing ourselves from people who support these kinds of systems. I think it's safe to say at this point, the majority of the black queer people we have platformed have no real sense of community, whether it's Frank Ocean, Tyler the Creator, Coleman Domingo, Chandra, Steve Lacy, Lil Nas X. It always seems to end the same. You can look to how people are responding to Lil Nas X to see that it's evident that black queer gays are becoming increasingly more frustrated with the way these people are operating. They're withdrawing support and becoming more vocal about not feeling seen or validated or even valued within their community despite being the backbones of these people's careers. Naturally, these things don't go without pushback though. There was an abundance of "why do you care" or "you're just jealous" tweets floating around within that thread. What I find the most funny about this though is that these will be the same people who complain when someone they're attracted to has an affinity for whiteness. They miss the correlation that when they create a safe space for our public figures to openly disrespect and abandon their community, it encourages regular people to do the same. That guy you're talking to on Grindr, on Jack'd, on Twitter, they see these comments, and when you cape for these random celebrities who do nothing but play in snow, you normalize these treasonous behaviors whether you like it or not. What I find the most frustrating about this is the people defending him would never get the same energy in return. Black people are the only ones who practice this one-sided loyalty. As a collective, we lack the ability to be bold enough to make hard decisions, and it's affecting our community severely. People are using us as cash cows and discarding us once they find their white audience, and it has to stop. I feel like when people ask you to support someone blindly with nothing in return, you should always ask yourselves why. Most of the time, it's because they themselves like the idea of reaping the benefits of black labor while participating in white desire. They feel entitled to our bodies so much that they think that they can have their cake and eat it too. And to that, I say no. You cannot have access to my time, you cannot have access to my friendship, and you damn sure cannot have access to my resources if you think the first thing you're going to do is turn around and use that on somebody who does not look like me. Even if I did overlook the fact that they are consistently dating outside their race, it still doesn't address the issue that most of the time, they never even use their resources to benefit the black community if they do date outside their race. So not only are they incapable of dating people who look like them, they're also unwilling to use the money they got from us to put back into us. So, if you ask me, these people seem moderately useless and aren't deserving of my support. Simply being black is not enough for one-sided loyalty. For me, it's really not about whether or not you like his music. It's actually about not supporting anti-black people who don't like people who look like you. When you offer support without getting anything in return, it not only lowers your value, but it lowers our value as a collective. Giving away your time, your money, your support to people who will dump it into communities that don't look like you and who will go out of their way to hurt you is not only unproductive, but damaging. There's more than enough black artists who date their own we can actually support. So I plead to anyone anyone who's on the fence to please stop enabling this behavior. I will say though, I'm pleasantly surprised because if this was a year ago, most of the people would have just bandwagoned his tweet and lusted over him. However, we're starting to see a higher social consciousness play out, and it's actually kind of pleasing. So let me know what you all think. Should we support men who date outside their race, or should we let their preferences support them? Thank you so much for watching. If you liked what you saw, like, subscribe, and comment, and I'll see you in the next one.